What's up, everybody? So for today's video, what I basically want to do here is just show you how I personally go about creating my supply and demand zones. Now, I've been using this video from the Trading Geek and been showing everybody how to do it from there, his ways, his steps, and then you mold it on top and then kind of do it my way is how we've been pretty much going along with it these past couple months here. So the one thing that I want to do differently now is show you how I do it. So the first thing you would want to do is, I think in my opinion, do it on TradingView because it's one of the best apps. The way you can organize it on the side right here and have it all in a group, turn it on and off from different time frames. It's pretty nice. So once you've created a TradingView account and you've signed in, first thing I want you to do is go to the bottom right here and make sure that you have extended hours on. So this might say this right there. Make sure that says ETH, and then make sure this is off, not blue like that. Just make sure it's not blue. Go to the top left right here, click the magnet tool, go a little bit higher here, go to the shapes, favorite the rectangle. Now go to the top, open the time frames with this little arrow, and favorite the 15-minute. After you've done all 5 of those first steps, we can now begin with my first 4 steps. So the first thing I'm going to want you to do is go on the 15-minute. Now I already have some supply and demand zones already done here, but I think it would actually be a little bit more helpful to have this here to show you a little demonstration. So let's first create them. So click the 15-minute, magnet tool, extended hours on, adjusted time frames off. Zoom in now. And as you can see, when the price, or SPY I should say, broke out of 525, it entered into a new zone, new area, where it started creating new supply and demand zones. So the first thing I want you to do is click the rectangle tool. Now go on top of this red candle. Click the top. Now click the bottom. Now extend it to the right. And I personally like to extend it to the left a little bit because it allows me to actually see where the wick is. So I'm going to extend it like that. Now, why did I create a supply and demand zone there, right? So to keep it real simple, if you look at my steps, step number 1, understand is 1 red candle followed by 3 green, or 1 green followed by 3 red. And then with the magnet tool, you're going to make sure it's perfect to the exact cent. That's all of step 1 right there. So as you can see, when I say 1 red candle and then 3 green following it, that's 3 green minimum. It could be more, can't be less. And then let's say if it was a green candle followed by 3 red, which if you look at the chart, there just so happens to be the next zone that's green and then 3 red, which is, as you can see, is the opposite of this right here. Doesn't matter the size, it just matters if it's after 9:30 and before the market close. It just has to be live market hours. So once you've done that and they're perfect to the exact cent, just like that and just like that, you now understand step 1 perfectly. Look at the chart, look at the screen, see why I created 2 supply and demand zones. Again, it doesn't matter the size. It doesn't matter if I'm including this green candle and not the 3rd green candle. Like over here, how it includes almost all of them, all 4 candles. Does not matter. You just need to include the red one. That's it. Or if it's on the green, you just need to include the green. Just the first candle, that's it. Top to bottom of the wick to the exact cent. Alright. So now let's create another one. Follow the price action like a snake. Green, 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 and then you have red, 2 greens, so it doesn't count. 2 red and then 1 green doesn't count. Red, green, 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 and it's at 15:45, which is 15 minutes before the market closes. Perfect. Click the top of this red one. top of the wick to the bottom. Again, you're using these 3 candles after this color to understand that these 3 candles that precede it show you that this is actually a supply and demand zone. Once you get at least 3, that's all that matters. As you can see, you didn't get 3 here. You only got 2, and then you only got 2 here. That's not a supply and demand zone. Since you got it here though, and it's 15 minutes before the market closes, that's perfect. That's exactly what you need. As you can see, like, look at this one right here, right? You might be like, wait a second. There's a candle right here and then 3 red right after it. Does that count? It does not count. Honestly, it does not count because it's after hours. So if you were to extend it like this, it doesn't count, you know? Because only zones that are created before the market opens, or before the market closes and after the market opens, actually are the ones that count. I almost said it backwards right there for a second. So this one right there, as you can see, if you look at step number 3, that's actually going against step number 3. So you don't want to do that, right? If you look at step number 2, I say always go from left to right. So after you actually know how to create a supply and demand zone, then what I want you to do is actually just go as far back to the left as possible and follow the price action like a snake. Pay attention to rule number 4, which if you look all the way at the bottom right there, it's to make sure that no zones made on that same time frame ever cross paths. And then to go back and to make sure you understand rule number 3, because I think you understand rule number 2, which is just to go from left to right. That's it. Rule number 3 is to make sure the extended hours is on, that's in the first steps that we did. And like I keep repeating time and time again, you should only be looking at live market hours. So 9:30 a.m. all the way to 3:45 p.m. Specifically 3:45 due to it being on the 15-minute. For example, if you're doing it on a 30-minute, your last candle is going to be 3:30. Of course, your first candle is going to be 9:30 because that's a 30-minute increment. For the 1 hour, your first candle would actually be 10 o'clock, and then your last candle is going to be 3 p.m. Other than that, you understand number 1, 2, and 3. And again, to go over number 4, step 4, make sure that no zones ever touch each other because you're going to have 1,000,001 zones, right? And you're not going to be able to do anything with that. Perfect. Once you've done all 4 of these steps, the next thing I would like you to do now is basically just extend these zones just like that. This one doesn't count. I think we need to finish up something here. So let's finish up what we started here. Go to the top, follow the price action like a snake, like I said. Green, 1, 2, 3 red. There's actually 4, but it doesn't matter. Just because it's 3, that's perfect. Just like that. Is there another one this day? Let's see. Click the rectangle tool like I did. Since you favored it, it's right here at the top, so it's really easy to click it. And green, green, red. Nope. Green, green, green. This one would count, but it's touching this one right here, as you can see. If you zoom in, you'll see on your screen. Zoom into the exact cent, by the way. Like even deeper than the cent. Like get a little bit more zoomed in on what a cent will be, and you'll see what I'm saying. Because we actually on the Discord were looking at that for like 20 minutes. So green candle, 1, 2, 3 red, and is during the day. So perfect. Click the top just like that. Click the bottom. Now extend it to the right. Extend the top one. Let's see if there's going to be any more zones here. Let's look right here. That's touching that, so none of these are counting because they're all touching the zone. And then same thing with these candles, they're touching the zone. They're all touching the zone right there, as you can see. This green one's not, but you only have 2 red, so it doesn't count. This green one's also touching it, so nope. That's touching it. Let's extend this a little bit more. As you can see, look right there. Red candle. Click the top, click the bottom. 1, 2, 3 green. which is perfect. Extend it a little bit. See if there's any more. Everything is pretty much touching or not zone. How about this day? Same thing. Everything is touching it. Extend it over here. It pretty much looks like everything is touching it, yeah. So we've done all the zones for the new prices, which is just from 523 all the way to the tops of 531. But I think after doing these first 5 zones right here, I think you can understand how you just go about doing them in general. And it's pretty much the same thing. Nothing changes, doesn't matter the size like I said. Just matters if it's during the day. On the 15-minute I would start with. After that you could do any other time frame. Like for instance, I have the 4-hour, 1 hour, right? We have a bunch of different ones. So other than that, the last thing that I would say is once you went through all 4 of these steps, all 4 or 5 of these steps, that's pretty much all. That's really the only thing you have to do at this point. Zoom out. Look to see how the price action works, hits your zones. You might ask, how do I have green zones or orange zones and yellow zones, right? What's the difference? So if you look right here on the right side, you would see that all zones were created the same exact way. Yellow are just stronger zones. I use a simple approach to make them stronger, and the reason for them being stronger was really simple. I just looked at the price action and see how it rallied and how it jumped on them before like massive jumps or massive drops. I just see how I used it. And then for the orange ones, they're still the same thing. They're still strong, but not as strong as the yellow, right? So let's say if I were to create a new yellow one, right? Because all 4 or 5 of these zones that we just create are there 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All 6 of these, right? Let's select them like this. So all 6 of these, they're now orange. And if I wanted to make one yellow, very simple, I would just do this. This one right here is yellow. It's that simple to me. The reason why this zone right here is yellow is because after it was basically running above and holding above this price and this range, it then dropped down, held here on this zone, and basically took off the next day. So the next time it comes down to the zone, we'll see how it reacts. We'll see if it still is strong. But in my opinion, so far it is a very strong zone, so we're going to leave it as so. It's that simple, honestly. And that's pretty much all. So that'll be all for today's video. I hope it helped out. If you need some help, just message me on the comments or on Discord, and yeah, that'll be all. So have a good one.